Hi, this is Mark, and I'd like to introduce a program that I'm currently working on, and I want to introduce. It is called Recovery Freedom, Alcoholism, and what I'm going to be providing is a practical solution for sober living. And what I want to do is just bring out the awareness about alcohol, addiction, and also provide a practical approach that people can utilize in a safe environment in which they don't have to go anywhere except for from the comfort of their own home and also from using their computer or their phone. So to start, I just wanted to describe a little bit about alcohol and different layers that are involved with alcohol, or maybe so you determine for yourself that maybe if you might have a problem. And the number one thing with drinking alcohol is only you can determine if you have a problem or not. So, and I'm gonna share more about this later on, but just to go over in a little bit overview, there's a lot of people, the majority of us, can go out in a social setting and drink maybe a glass of wine or beer, but they could put it down and they could walk away with it. And it doesn't have to be all the time that they're going to go out drinking, but they'll go out occasionally. And we all know those people are. They'll leave a glass of wine right there on the table after having a couple of sips. And those people, alcohol is not even a problem. I mean, it's to them it's like another beverage. Then there's others that will get drunk, get intoxicated on occasions. And I would say, a birthday or New Year's, but it'll be a couple of times a year, which people they'll get drunk. And we see these people, and they'll just have get drunk for whatever occasion it is, but they're not. They won't use alcohol as a crutch for every situation, as a socialized beer on people. Then there's people that will get drunk, but they'll get drunk, once or twice a month. So the frequency is going to increase, but they're still not relying upon alcohol to go out. They will go out with their friends, but it doesn't matter if there's alcohol involved or not. And the amount of times they get drunk isn't that much. But they will get drunk, more frequently than the previous group that I described. So then there's those people that will drink a glass of wine at dinner, or they'll have a glass like a beer at a game, but they'll also get drunk more frequently. I would say every weekend. So we go from like every other weekend to like now a person's getting drunk every weekend. And maybe, they might forget a couple of things that they said, but it's just maybe just like every Saturday night. But the frequency is increasing. And then there's people that we call them, weekend warriors. And what's a weekend warrior? A weekend warrior is somebody that will drink heavily on the weekend. They'll get drunk on the weekends. And this is kind of like where the borderline is kind of set about you're actually walking to a bit of gray area. A lot of people look forward to the weekends. Who doesn't look forward to the weekend? We all look forward to the weekends. If we're not happy at our job, we just can't wait for the weekend because we're not working. But a weekend warrior looks forward to the weekend so they could drink and get drunk. And they're the ones that are going to the happy hour on Friday. And, on Saturday, they'll get drunk too. So this is kind of like where, we're getting into this alcoholism debate. And obviously, the only person who ever determined if you have a problem with alcohol is yourself. Nobody can tell it for you. It's you as the one that's going to have to determine if you have a problem with alcohol. So past the weekend warrior, we have the one that stretches the weekend out. And when I talk about stretching the weekend out, is that this person will start the weekend on Thursday. And Thursday night is a socially acceptable night to go out drinking. So this person will go out Thursday and they'll go Friday, Saturday. So they're drinking Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And they're probably getting drunk, once or twice, or maybe, all 3 times. And the thing also is that they're looking forward. Like when Thursday comes around, they're excited and they just can't wait to go out and get drunk. This is becoming, habitual, because then you have those that stretch it out to Sunday. So now we have Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And Sunday by means, Sunday morning having a Bloody Mary or having some cocktails at the beach on Sunday. And what starts happening is that your weekend starts revolving around the alcohol. So it's like, how much alcohol can you drink in a weekend? And well, what one has to be aware of is what are the excuses that come up to drink, and also, what in terms of drinking, and drinking, alcohol is, when people drink alcohol, they call it a social lubricant, and so you rely upon the substance of alcohol to interact with others in a social situation. Can you interact with people without alcohol? Can you go to a social situation without alcohol and interact with people? So can you go to a party or a bar or a restaurant without having to get drunk? And that's something that we have to look at in terms of defining or determining if we have an alcohol problem. Because one thing is that the alcohol is only a symptom of the problem. And it's in the minds of we call it the script, and the script is what will control the alcohol tendencies. And we'll get more into the script in a different discussion. So I just want to go over some highlights to help you determine if maybe alcohol is a problem in your life. So we had the weekend drinker, and then we had to want to stretch it out a little bit. We have also the people that will, oh, I had a really hard day at work. I can't wait to go home and drink. Oh, I had a great day at work, and I can't wait to go home and celebrate. So it's the alcoholism is looking for a reason to go out and drink. So you're looking for reasons to go out and drink. And some questions that one has asked himself is, can you go to a social situation or to a party or to a club or a restaurant and not have a drink? Because I know from my experience, I used to go and have a glass of wine when out to eat. I used to, go to bars and drink. And I couldn't really see myself really going to a bar and not drinking. But I didn't admit, I didn't have a problem drinking. And I felt that, maybe I was under the Weekend Warrior type of program. And as you go more deeper, like after we had the one that stretches out, then there is what we call the blackout. And what is a blackout? Well, a blackout is when you drink too much to excess that you actually don't remember what you did that night. So they call it a blackout. You anesthetize yourself. And having a blackout, and depending on how many times you have a blackout, is a sign that maybe you have an alcohol problem. Are you blacking out when you're going out drinking? Are you drinking to get drunk? Like when you're going to go out, like let's say in a weekend, are you going out to get drunk? These are things that we have to look at in terms of if we have a problem with alcohol or not. Are you lying about your alcohol drinking? So, for instance, if you're maybe in a relationship with somebody and you're the person you're with, your wife or whatever, and and you're drinking with your friends and stuff like that, and you are you saying that to make an excuse to go out with your friends drinking, or go out after work and make an excuse to go out for a meeting or something because maybe your wife or spouse doesn't, or your husband doesn't want you to go out drinking? Is it like a Wednesday or Thursday night and we're going out drinking? So, we have to pay attention to, the what we're saying, and if we're compensating in terms of words, because these are signs that we might be having a problem. Have you been hungover? A lot of us have been hungover, but how many times? If you go out on a Friday night and you're hungover on a Saturday morning, are you going to go out drinking Saturday night after being very hungover that morning? You can look at that. How about have you missed work because you went out drinking the night before and you're too hungover? Have you been late to work because you were out late drinking? Well, these are all things to really look at to determine if you have a problem with drinking with alcohol. Because the thing is that denial is a major player with alcohol, because alcohol doesn't want to be identified. Alcohol doesn't want to be identified. It doesn't want it to be exposed to you. So it wants you to think that you're fine. And listen, like, no one is judging you. You're the person that's making your own determination by yourself. That's all that you are, making your own self-determination if indeed alcohol is having a problem in your life. And there are solutions. There is help for you if you want to make those steps. And what I want to offer is I want to offer practical, safe, proven principles that if you can identify with the alcohol as having a problem with alcohol, that you can work with. Because one of the major things is to identify the fact that alcoholism exists in your life. That once you identify the fact that, you know what, I do have a problem with alcohol, and I'm not ashamed to admit that I have a problem with alcohol. And you could go through that denial, because denial is the biggest thing. So I encourage you to just evaluate yourself, do a self-assessment by yourself. Have you ever had a DUI? Driving under the influence? Have you been pulled over for driving under the influence? When you go out with people and someone doesn't drink, are you urging them on to drinking? Are you comfortable around people not drinking? Again, I asked before, but can you go into a social situation without alcohol and socialize without having to drink? Are you lying about your drinking? So, if like someone smells alcohol in your breath and they say that you had alcohol, are you saying or denying the fact that you didn't have alcohol? So these are all things for you to look at, because I've been there myself, and I did not think that I had a problem with alcohol. I like to drink on the weekends, but I extended my weekends. But I was a blackout drinker. I blacked out when I was drinking, and I had my friend to tell me about it. Can you moderate your drinking? Drinking in moderation? See, also, the thing to pay attention to is there's, everyday drinking. Have a glass of wine, which for some people, it's fine, but it's you that you have to look at, because the only person to determine if you're a problem or not is you. So another thing also is heavy drinking. So what's a heavy drinker? A heavy drinker is someone that drinks excessively. This is going on for the weekends, going on, because the whole thing is that, you could say, I only get drunk on the weekends. I only get drunk on Friday and Saturday. Well, you blacking out. Can you go out without getting drunk? And so really pay attention to what's going on inside of you when you're asking yourself these questions. Are you do you put alcohol in front of obligations, family obligations? Like, if your family's getting together for something, your friends are like saying, hey, let's go out or whatever. Let's go out drinking and have a good time. Let's get drunk. Are you going to go with your friends and get drunk, or are you going to be with your family and have a dinner? This might sound like a very mundane thing, but, you know, is it a pattern that always happens? If you're asked to go someplace where it's going to be fun and drinking, or you're being asked to go someplace there's no fun and drinking, are you choosing the fun and drinking? See, it's all a matter of choice. When you have that drink, what level of control are you exhibiting over the next drink? For instance, can you have one drink? Have you tried to switch from one drink to the other? Like, have you drank hard alcohol like scotch and then went to brandy, or have you switched from hard alcohol to wine, or switched from wine to beer? Have you tried to moderate and not moderate successfully? What is moderation? Do you have to drink every day? Do you believe the fact that you have a glass of wine will lower your blood pressure or be good for your heart? Can you have a glass of wine a day? When you see someone take a couple sips of wine and leave the glass more than half full on the table and walk away, how does it make you feel? Does that bother you? Can you believe that someone actually would have left a glass of wine more than half full on the table? Can you do that? So I just want to give you an intro, a chance to really look at yourself and have the opportunity to take a look and give it self-examination as to whether or not maybe you might have a problem with alcohol and what role the alcohol plays in your life. And I'll go into more detail in further discussions about identifying alcohol and if you're a problem or not. And stay tuned for more things to come out and more awareness. So for now, pay attention and see if like do an inventory of your alcohol, and maybe get some clarity. And and I hope that you identify with what I'm saying, and see for yourself. I'm a regular person, just like everybody else, and I have been sober for over a decade, and I have stopped drinking for over a decade. So I've been there in terms of not having the identification of myself as having a drinking problem. And I have my own path. And I want to basically help, people like yourself, like me, have a better way of life and not have a life that's dictated by alcohol. Because alcohol is everywhere. It's socially acceptable. It's always going to be there. And I chose to be me. And I chose to be me without a drink. And I can be me wherever I am. I don't need to be in a crutch of alcohol to be who I am. And I just want to leave it at that. So, I hope that you got something out of this, short intro. And, stay tuned for some more. Thank you very much.